This is self-serving, self-centered, from those who propose it and those who oppose it. You are living witnesses when we stood up on this floor and raised our concerns about the Electoral Act as presented before the Senate. Having worked in the Committee on Electoral Matters for almost 2 years, we raised serious concerns here about some provisions that are in the Electoral Act. In the name of party supremacy, people kept quiet. Now, because some people felt they have an ambition and going forward, therefore, slightly they are touched. This particular matter is not about Nigeria. This matter is about the Senate and institution and those who want to aspire for leadership. This institution has a history that is institutionalized. In 2023, when we came here, this particular ranking was thrown under the bus. Why you could say a principal officer who is coming to the Senate for the first time, a senator who is coming to the Senate for the first time, the first week became a principal officer. The biggest of the committees were given to new senators. Now, at the end of the day, after 3.5 years, what have those senators performed as chairman of committees? Some could not even call meetings. Some, when they call meetings, they could not even preside. A lot of people make noise or it touches them. In this chamber, it is the work of you journalists to investigate. There are committees that are in place for 3.5 years. Their chairman did not call for one single meeting except when it is budget. So the entire scenario is being seen as personalized. And therefore, until we are ready to cure this malice, we'll continue to see it because a lot of laws were passed tailored to particular group, tailored to particular party advantage, tailored to particular individuals. That is the order. That is the truth.
So what's the next move of the Senate?
The next thing that the Constitution and the Senate rules allow the Senate to regulate itself. As long as the regulation does not impugn to the Constitution, the Senate is allowed to do that. Therefore, rescinding, bringing emotion, whatever that anybody wants to bring, he can bring, as long as it makes sense, as long as it is not about himself or themselves or about a group that are coming to take over. We know all this. You are journalists. Some people are saying they are coming to take over. Some people here are saying they want to be. So that is what is being played here. And unfortunately, by the ruling party. As opposition member, we are looking at them.
But will you let it stand, just looking at them?
It does not matter if in 2027 we have more numbers. They have worked for us. So we are just looking at them as if, they are assuming as if in 2027 they are going to come with this number. As far as I'm concerned, that is a foolhardy, and that is not something that should be in a law that is in the Senate.
Have you moved to the ADC? Have you moved to the ADC?
Not yet. I'm still a member of the PDP.
But we saw a video circulating that you have moved.
I went to, a lot of people forgot that the ADC chairman was my very close boss. And I'm also, most of the ADC chieftains are my friends. And hopefully, in a few days, I may be there.
All right. Congratulations.
Now good.
In conformity with Section 52 of 1999 Constitution, that spelled out who is qualified to elect the presiding officers. So the Constitution made it clear that it is the senators will be sworn in first before they can elect their presiding officers. So I'm glad that we have looked at that, and I'm also hopeful that we might also look at some other provisions that has already been amended.
So the bone of contention is Order 5, which has to do with a senator that have served 2 consecutive terms. That was not talked about. What's your reaction?
That is why I'm saying that I'm glad that the Senate have started looking at it, and they will also look at that in due course. We are not done yet, and this is about the 3rd amendment of our rules that we are doing in this 10th Senate. You know, this Senate have removed the secret ballot to now say that it will be by open ballot, raise of hand, which is open ballot. So I'm sure that we'll still look at them.
Do you think there is this intention to want to slice some people, shut some people out?
No, I don't think so. But even if that is so, it will be contested and debated. It is not a finality yet. As far as I'm concerned, everything you see is still work in progress.
Let me be very straightforward with you, sir.
Yes.
It's out there that your governor wants to come to the Senate, and the implication of that is that it's from your senatorial district. You may have to take your position, and there's an attempt within the National Assembly right now, the 10th Assembly, to shut people like him out. Tell us more.
No, I wouldn't want to comment on anything personal on anybody. No, I wouldn't want to do that on a live television. That would be unfair to him, and that would be unfair to me.
Have you in any way sensed an attempt by some persons inside this 10th Assembly to want to maybe...
No, but from what you are talking about, the session you are talking about, that has to deal with back to back.
Yeah.
8 years, one of which must be preceding,
Yes.
have shut out a lot of people. So you don't even need to personalize. So leave it as it is. That's why I said,
Forgive my...
that is why I'm saying that in due course, people will begin to look at this. And the Senate is amenable. The Senate President himself is amenable.
Okay.
He's very amenable. Why
was the amendment even necessary?
No, I wouldn't know because I'm not a member of the principal officers. But I'm saying that if the senators themselves come together and say, look, we don't want this, the Senate President himself is amenable to it.
Distinguished, one of your colleagues, Senator Ezenwa, have already granted an interview saying that what the Senate has done so far is self-serving and is unconstitutional.
But I'm granting an interview now, commending the Senate for rescinding the part of the amendment, which is Rule 2 and 3, which is not in conformity with Section 52 of 1999 Constitution. And I'm saying that the other ones, that the Senate will also look into it. This is the third amendment of this rule since we came into the Senate. So who says that we're not going to amend it again?
Thank you very much.
Who are those senators who are making laws that are self-help, self-centered, and informed by what I consider to be a selfish interest? Because the ladder you use, you cannot turn around to want to destroy that ladder. Majority can have their way, but the law allows minority to have a say. And to my shock, the Senate President refused me the right to read that point of order.